podcast, where today we have a returning guest. I think for the first time ever, we have a returning guest.
Is it?
Bernardo, welcome to the show, sir, from Raptus Games. How are you?
Thank you. I'm glad to be here again. I'm good. I'm good. Kind of relaxing a bit. Not fully relaxed, but
There's only
breathing
a
a bit.
hurricane going on. It's fine. Just relax. It's
That's.
okay.
I mean, there's been a hurricane in here for most of last year, so now that it's gone, it's at least. I mean, to be honest, nowadays games don't really release because
Well,
even when you like specifically when you release you start figuring out so much stuff
we're going to
giving
hop into
you
all that in just a second. Let me get the rest of
yeah
the intros in here real quick. Bernardo's game is NBB.exe. Let me just say that up front. That just got released on Steam on October 1st. Am I
yes
correct? Okay, so you guys can go pick this up now. We're going to talk to him about it. This whole episode is going to be about Bernardo, his company, and his game. So
Mhm.
we'll split this into two parts. We're going to talk about Bernardo first and then his game. My co-host here, of course, is always Wes. Wes, how you doing, sir?
What's going on, guys? Bernardo, it's good to see you again.
And then if you guys like what you hear today, please consider supporting us over on Patreon, patreon.com/nerdenthusiast. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. The money we make over there goes right back into our shows. It helps support us, and we really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow the company at Nerd Enthusiast on all social media platforms. And I think that's everything. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're here to talk to Bernardo today, so that's what we're going to focus on.
Yeah.
So before we get into your game and we talk about your company and the release, let's just catch back up for the people. Like I said, this is the first time we're having someone back on the show. I think
Yeah.
ever.
Yes, it is.
So Bernardo, how have you been? What's going on? Talk to us.
Well, I don't remember when it was that I was in the podcast before.
It was about a year ago, maybe a little bit
Right.
longer.
A little bit longer than a year.
Yeah, I was probably trying to release my game back then too.
I'm pretty sure you were.
I was fairly sure I was gonna know it's gonna be next month. I'm gonna do it. It's just like but yeah, I mean that's what's been happening really. I've been working on releasing my game. It had been in production for well almost 10 years, but not really. I mean, I had a full time job in the middle there. I had a few other things that I had to do, so it's always been sort of part time hobby ish. But the last few years, it had been full time. And I was kind of desperate trying to finish it. Really, I'm really happy with how it ended up being. But after 10 years, any project is kind of a marathon. You want it to be over. That's been the basically the update. I've been living here in Miami the last year mostly. I'm from Chile originally, but living here for other reasons, for family business stuff. But since I can do my game dev remotely from anywhere, that's what I do. And yeah, I'm really excited that it's out now. I mean, there's obviously a little bit bittersweet. The launch also maybe didn't go as I had hoped.
Well, we're gonna get into your game.
Yeah,
Let's hang on to that. Let's talk
but
about something else for just a second.
sure,
You also do a podcast with
I
Rick,
do.
your partner.
Yeah.
What's your podcast about? Where can people find that? Let us know.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, we have a podcast called sort of company, I guess. Suppose we do similar everythings. We're called Dual Media, and you can find us at Dual Duel Media in YouTube and social media, but mostly YouTube. And we do mostly movie reviews, game reviews, podcasts, and yeah, I mean it's sort of like an outlet to other things because often I'm very isolated into this one thing, and that's another side of I don't know. I guess our geekdom. We're very movie people, so we like it. We talk about it a lot.
I'm gonna throw in one other thing because I
Mhm.
was very interested in seeing this movie. Then I saw the bad reviews and I haven't. But then you give it a, let's say, semi-positive review
Yeah.
of the new Joker movie.
Oh
So
yeah.
we'll let Wes talk. I know Wes probably already seen this. He probably already seen it twice, knowing Wes. But what are your thoughts? And then I want to hear Wes's thoughts because I love the first movie, and I'm not even a fan of like Marvel or DC stuff at all.
Yeah.
So what did you think? And then Wes, I want to hear from you after that, please.
Okay.
So, I mean, we haven't actually made a review out of it, so I don't have all my kind of thoughts organized. But it's messy. It's a weird movie. The fact that it's a musical is odd. It's a it feels almost like a necessity because they had Lady Gaga in the team, so they had to make her sing. Uh,
Try to do it
it's
spoiler free too, by the way. Let's keep this
no,
spoiler.
no. Of course, I won't. I won't. But as messy as it was, I thought that the ultimate like thematic structure and the message was pretty significant, poignant, strong, um, unexpected, much more grounded than the first one, even
Hmm.
almost. Yeah, I would have wanted them to marry sort of the musical aspect of the movie and the more Joker, what do you expect aspects of the movie more. They seem very much like, okay, here's our musical number, here's our. Now we continue with the plot. There's only a few that really kind of merge the narrative and move it forward. And that's sort of where I would have really wanted to see more of a focus. Yeah, there's a lot of fandom being mad about things, and I don't give a fuck about it. So I don't get mad. I'm not a fan of the Joker. I'm not a fan of DC. I don't care what they do with characters like that. So if in this continuity it kind of made sense, I thought it was pretty effective. So
Okay.
that's yeah. Yeah, I think that it was great. Other than like this fumbling of the musical side of it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What,
Hmm.
you
So
disagree?
I do. I they should have just kept the music out.
Hmm,
It just
sure.
I like the first one. I like the first movie better. The first movie was so good.
Yeah.
The one thing the second movie did, and and it's not giving anything away. If anybody's seen the first movie, at the end you're kind of scratching your head wondering if that stuff really happened or was it in his head. The second movie does answer that question definitively. But I was like, why? It just and it, yeah. It was a movie made, like he said, for Lady Gaga to sing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, that's disappointing to me just because, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor. Like, come on,
Mhm.
man. Like, that
I
should
He,
think
be the
he
centerpiece.
he's great here.
he killed the first one. I thought
Oh,
he was great.
oh yeah.
He's still great here. I think. It's yeah. I think that okay. I'm gonna say something that's awful. I like it better than the first movie, but I'm an artsy fag, so take it as you will. Uh, there are things about the first movie that were kind of trying to tie it to the comic bookness.
hmm
Like I remember specifically, there's this one scene where he's trying to sneak into like an opera house, and he like steals the costume from like the bell bottom. I don't know, it's some guy in the bathroom, and then sneaks in, and I'm like, this is fucking Scooby Doo shit. I don't understand what's happening, but and this one remains like super like really somber and very like yeah, it has a gravitas all the way going through, and I really enjoyed that. I know that for most people, this is it doesn't it has nothing to do with Batman, with DC, with anything.
It does. It
It
really doesn't.
it actually ends up in a really interesting place for that if they wanted to do something with that. But this
hmm
movie has nothing to do with it.
hmm
So yeah,
Well,
I
that makes it more
understand.
interesting to me because, like I said earlier, I don't care about any of that stuff. So,
Yeah, you mileage may vary. Yes, I do think there is one plot point that towards the end that doesn't fully pay off, but that'd be a spoiler, and I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't
let's
want to
keep
say
it
anything
spoiler
else.
free. I don't want to. I don't want to ruin
Yeah.
this for anybody or myself. I might go check it out, even though it got some bad reviews.
It's it's if you've seen the first one, is it worth seeing the second one? Yes. Um,
Probably.
people, it's getting mixed reviews. It's you either love it or hate it. It's just
Yeah.
me. I'm just very it was. I could have did without the musicals. It just
Yeah.
if it just would have been just a straight movie, I would have been fine. But the music parts of it, I think could have been left out. Maybe one or
Yeah.
two, but not the whole movie.
Hmm.
But that's
Certainly.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Is that your dog behind you?
Not my dog. It is a dog. I do have a no, my sister has a pug.
So you just have okay, all right, your sister's pug. I was gonna say you have a
Yeah.
random pug just chilling behind you.
It's not just a random pug. It's something that I saw last year for Halloween.
Oh,
so
I thought that was like on your. I thought that was a cushion. I did
No.
not realize that was a friggin' mask that you could wear. Okay. Okay.
This is
All
the
righty
state
then.
of things. So I saw it and I had to have it. So because also I love my pug. I love Toto, my sister's pug. So I thought I should have something to remind me of Toto.
Get your own pug. That's what you should do. Dogs are
It's-
fantastic.
I travel too much. It would
That's
be
good.
difficult. I don't have anyone here in Miami to look after a pug.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, before we start talking about Bernardo's game, I got to stoke the fire just a little bit.
Mhm.
It was something that was said, brought up on our last video with you, how you felt about a certain video game character in their game. And prior to us starting to record, we chimed in a little bit. So, your thoughts on Sonic Shadow Generations? I'm
I have
excited.
not. I have not played the new movie or the.
The game, the new game that's coming out.
I do.
I'm excited.
I do not fuck with 3D Sonic. I will say, as a child
Mhm.
of the Dreamcast era, I absolutely loved Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. But I was a child. I did not know better. No, I mean, playing those games, also, I do think that those games were a little bit more simplified.
Mhm.
The more they advance, the more things they try to add, like mechanics. And it's always like, oh, jump and then target the thing and like dash to the thing. And then there's like a camera movement and you're like flying through the air and bouncing. And like, it breaks up the action instead of like actually feeling like you're doing anything. And so I've always, well, I think that we spoke about it last time. The Sonic, the open world one,
Frontiers.
Frontiers. I've always thought that Sonic should be something more similar to a racing game or something like an open world kind of like what do you call it? Traversal platformer, sort
It
of
gives
like
you a lot more freedom.
yeah,
It feels like the chains are like off of you. At least when you're in them, because then you'll go into like still like 3D environments, but with like, well, some of them are actually 2D, but
yeah.
or at least 2D planes, and
I
those
mean,
feel more like the older games as well.
I don't expect them to forget Sonic, but I think that they should move it into that direction. Like, it's a weird comparison. I don't know if I ever made it last time, but I don't know if either of you have played Warframe.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Warframe has a thing that like the act of moving in that game is really cool. You slide, then you press like the hit like the jump button as you press the bullet button, and so you do a bullet jump and you kind of soar into the air, and you can, as you're soaring, like slide again, and you do kind of a faster slide, and you can keep on getting momentum like that.
That's cool.
And so like the act of moving through the world is really active and really like engaging, and there's nothing to it. It just feels good and you're just going faster and faster. And like I feel like Sonic should do something like that, of like just let you go at light speed, like fucking break your game, but like have something active that just like really gets you going. And
So
it,
it's
it
perfect for
always just
Shadow.
feels like
Shadow has guns, you know.
but it always just feels like you're pushing forward and it just goes. It goes really fast and it's really difficult to turn. And that's it. That's what Sonic does.
I think Frontiers you would be a little softer on. I don't
No,
think you
sure.
would. I don't think you'd be over the moon for it, but I think you'd be like, this is heading in the right direction. And I feel like that game sold really well. I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if we don't see a sequel in the next 2 to 3 years.
I would expect to.
Yeah.
But the best Sonic game in the last I don't know how many years is Racing Transformed. Racer Transform. It's a
That
racer
was
game.
supposed to be very good. I haven't played that one, but I heard it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a racing game. Sonic should be a racing game. He goes fast. That's what cars do.
Makes sense. I see the logic in connecting those dots.
Yeah.
You excited about Shadow Sonic Generations, Matt?
I'll get it eventually. But I mean, so look, this is a remake. This is a remake of Sonic Generations, right? It just included a bunch of stuff for Shadow for the movie, and
with Keanu Reeves as the voice, which is very important.
I mean, Keanu Reeves is cool, but I don't care.
No, I don't care. I could not care less.
So Sonic Generations looks cool, like it's awesome. Like, but I already have Sonic Generations, and they're selling me the same game again. Like, I'd rather. Yes, Shadow's in it. Yes, the movie hype. They're going to get a bunch of kids. A lot. The game is going to sell well. Period. Look, it's going to sell well. When will I buy it?
When it's $19.99.
I already know when it's going to be $19.99. It's the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. That game will be discounted, and that's when I will buy the game. Just like Frontiers. Frontiers came out a month later. Was Black Friday. I got Frontiers. It was a $60 game, and I think I paid somewhere between $20 to $30 for it. So I'll get Generations on Black Friday. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not paying $60 for it. I would have done the same damn thing with Assassin's Creed if they didn't push that back. So now I won't be buying that until God knows when.
I know. I was kind of looking forward to that myself.
They could have got me to pay full price for it, but Ubisoft typically drops the price of their game like within a month. So I'm just prone to like waiting. Where Sony stopped doing that. Sony was doing that for a long time, and now they're really keeping the value of their games. If you've paid attention, they're a lot more like Nintendo than they've ever been as far as like keeping their prices up.
Not only that, but they're releasing them at fuller price.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a year after it released the first time.
Oh yeah. Are you talking about the price increase with Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I already have it, so I don't care. But it was. Why don't they just plan this ahead? Of course, it was going to happen.
Right. If they increased the price of this like a year ago,
nobody would have known.
Nobody would even said anything. They're just like, okay, like it wouldn't have mattered.
Just looks so petty.
A few like a month away, and they're like, oh, raise the price now. Like, of course, it's obvious.
Oh shit, we're gonna sell it for, and they can get an upgrade for. Oh shit, we need to increase the price, guys.
Just go buy a used copy at GameStop for $5 and then give them the $10 for the upgrade. That's what you should do.
I wonder if that works.
It does.
It does, okay.
They said you can't like not have the physical copy though. So as long as you have the disc, you'll be able to do it.
Right.
So I have the disc, so I'm good.
Maybe GameStop will start raising the price of that as well.
Well, I'm assuming they're going to sell more copies, which will make their inventory go down, which will make the price go up. So that you should see a price increase. So if you want your Horizon Zero Dawn on the cheap, go pick it up at GameStop right now.
I still haven't played it. I still haven't played it.
Or just play the original, and it's fine. It's a fine game. Whatever changes they're gonna make, it's gonna be barely noticeable.
It's a great game. I love Horizon. Look, the character Aloy is fine. She's fine. I'll give you that. She's fine. Whatever.
I have nothing against it. I think it's a great game.
The game is so much fun to play, though. It's so much fun to play.
I like the first one much more than I like the second one. I bounced off the second one. I think that the combat got real annoying. I think that we also spoke about this last time.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand where you're coming from, but I mean, I still think that the second one is probably still one of the best. I'm not a PC gamer, but I think that's probably one of the best looking games I've ever seen, if not the best.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean that's not questionable. Like Sony does put money in that. Yeah. Like The Last of Us looks amazing.
Mhm.
That one looks amazing. The
Which Last of Us? The remaster or the re-remaster? Which one are you talking?
It has always looked fine. That original one looked fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of the way that they're doing the remasters as well. I feel like they're trying to make them more like realistic, because the first one had a very distinct comic bookness to it. I think the character designs had a bit of a stylized nature, and now they're kind of gritty. And I mean, I don't know. It's the same thing with Uncharted. I feel like very subtly we've been seeing the humanification of what's his name, Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake, yeah.
Yeah, he used to be a comic book character, and now he's just like a fucking generic. I don't know
Yeah, he
who's
felt
an
way
action
more.
hero
He
today.
felt way more Indiana Jones in the first game or two, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Now he's just a pretty actor. I don't know who it is, but yeah, I'm sure someone gives a face to him now.
Yeah,
It feels more appealing to maybe a more like generic audience, I suppose. It's like, oh, it's like a movie, you know?
yeah, yeah. I can see that. I wish out of all the remakes they've done, I really wish they would remake the first one. I really enjoyed that first Uncharted, and people like are like, oh, it's not. I'm like, dude, no, that first Uncharted is
First
awesome.
one was really
It's
good. It is.
awesome.
I mean, the second one is
It's the
really
better
good
one.
too. It is the better one, but the
Sure.
first one was really good.
I enjoy the first one. The first one has a few issues, but it's good as well.
But if they just cleaned it up, polished it up, tightened the
Yeah.
controls a little bit, I mean, that would be an outstanding game.
Didn't lock you up in a monster closet with a shotgun with one bullet. That would have been a good start. So you wouldn't have to just fucking delete your save and go to the previous one. Uh,
Yeah, I'd imagine. I didn't have that problem, but I'd imagine that would be annoying.
yes, that happened to me twice. Twice playing that game at launch.
I conserve my ammo like a whore in every game. It doesn't matter if it's Resident Evil or not. Like I'm
Just
conserving as
you
much
never
ammo
knew.
as I possibly can. Always.
You never knew what was a point of no return, and you had nothing left. So you'd be like, okay, hopefully I'll pick up something here, and it's just you drop you into another monster closet. I'm like, okay. I guess. I mean, if I was super skillful, I could like melee take down a few guys and get their guns, and I don't know, John Wick my way through it, maybe. But I'm bad at games. Uh,
I mean, I'm the guy who has like all the extra like strong potions and like everything you would want to use. I hoard it all. Everything I possibly can, and then the game ends, and I'm like,
yeah,
that was a waste of me saving all this.
yeah. I've got all the what's it called, the sprays, the first aid sprays at the end of all Resident Evils. I've never used one like in any Resident Evil.
Zelda's the worst offender, dude. And every time I end a Zelda game, like at least the ones where you have the breakable weapons, I have like these amazing weapons that I haven't touched, and just a stash of them. Like, I always use the
The
crappiest
new
weapon
one,
I have. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom
yeah,
and Breath of the Wild. I've always stashed
any of those, yeah.
the great weapons. So when I end the game, I have all these amazing weapons. Like I didn't even use them.
That was a terrible system. I thought it was a terrible system.
I mean, I love Zelda so much, especially Tears of the Kingdom. But
yeah.
I could live without the breakable. If they went back to non-breakable weapons, I'd be totally fine with that.
Yeah. No, I think that like I understand what they were trying to do. It made a very like broken economy to it, because it wasn't worth engaging enemies for the currency that were your weapons would break more than you'd get back. So you ended up kind of avoiding most things by the end of that game. I was like, oh shit, no, I'm not gonna like use my pretty weapons on you fucking Lizalfos, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna give me, a boomerang? Thank you. No.
It's true, man. You'd save
Yeah.
them for like those the hell were those horse guys called?
Yeah, the Linos.
The Linos, yeah. Jesus God. You run into one of those?
You know what? In that first game, that's all I fought.
Really?
That was my like. I love Souls likes, Dark Souls. That was my whole point in that game, destroying every Lino. It was fun, but they all fought the same way, so it was a bit boring in the end.
I probably beat 1 or 2 of them in both those games.
Yeah.
Like a total of 3 or 4 combined in both games. I avoided those things like the plague.
They're fun, but they were not worth fighting, really. No.
Yeah.